Here, 720 Maple Court. I'm also an affordable housing developer for Pleasantville and Atlantic City. Welcome to, I want to say thank you for the board members that come up here and volunteer to take care of our children. In the past 10 years, we've had 15 superintendents. God bless them if the one is here now. I understand that there's privatization going on. I don't know whether the board members are all privy to what's going on, but they want to privatize everything, or most things. And when you privatize, you take away the community. The community that's here to take care of these children. The superintendent, you could be gone in the next 10 months. And then we have all this contract out. People contract out there outside the community. You're taking away jobs from people in our community. And who has, and these companies that you want to bring in, do they have a vested interest with our children? Well, the elimination of the assistant position, the superintendent position, you know that the superintendent is absent sometimes, and you have the VA taking the place of an assistant superintendent who does not have a certificate. I don't know whether all the board members are privy to information like this. Your superintendent should be transparent, let everybody know, put it in writing, so that if parents or teachers or supervisors want to ask a board member can answer and tell them. Year in year, this board continues to change the leadership. It doesn't allow for consistency, but you expect increased learning outcomes. The voters are looking at you and wondering what is happening in this community. You know that there is going on in legal ramifications to take funds away from students, but you leave these employees with no other recourse. I would like to know if it in writing, the people that we want to take away, the positions that we want to take away, to the board members, all the board members, are they privy to this information so they can disseminate it to the parents, the teachers, and everybody else that's invested in this community? So those are my questions for the board. But they just can't stand by and have the civil rights of our community taken away. So I want the board members to think about this budget, and don't forget, when she decides to leave, and she will, we've had 15 superintendents in the past 10 years. What are we going to do with all these contracted jobs out there? What is our community going to do? This is a black and brown community. And I would like to, has anybody seen what proficiency does? You see where we stand? And you think that bringing in some people from outside is going to help our kids? No, they're not. So please take all of this into consideration. Thank you.
Show me.
Hi, I'll ask my comments.
Yeah. Please show us.
Yes.
Next is,
I'm taking Ms. Hayes' comment for 3 minutes. Okay, thank you. Okay. I was here around this time last year, going through the same thing I'm going through now. And it's very heartbreaking for me to see that your assistant superintendent has to continue to go through this. This woman has been in this position for 23 years. She's a hard worker. There's no task that the superintendent has asked her that she has not done. Her title is Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum Instruction. Well, the whole curriculum instruction department was taken away from her. She was told that she couldn't do anything with CNI. So why would you give someone that title and then take their whole staff away and say, you can't say anything, you can't do anything with CNI? I don't understand it. So then she was left with, oh, you're only over early childhood registration and choice. That is a disgrace. And it's poor management. And it's not good use of an administrator. Someone with the same standard certification as your superintendent. She has been belittled for the past 10 months. She's been abused. We have plenty of witnesses who are at these me to show how she was talked down to, dismissed. And let me tell you the first thing she said to her, your assistant superintendent, when she first started on day one, which was July 5th. She went up to her, she didn't know her, she never saw her before, and she said to her, I just want to let you know I'm not afraid of you, your mother, your sister, and nobody else, because I'm from Philadelphia. That's what she said to her. And that's the kind of superintendent you have running this district. And I feel bad for these kids. I pray for these kids. These kids deserve better. Puerto Rican kids, Latina, and Black. Not just Latina, Black kids too. And I can say that because my father's Puerto Rican and my mother's Black. So I can vouch for both sides. I represent both sides. Because you just can't like point in on one race and forget about the other kids. And it's not right. That's all I have to say.
Mrs. Thomas?
I think my name is on there as well, Dr. So this is my correct. Dr. Lakeisha, I'm an 18 hourly.
Yeah, did your mom take her time?
No, she took sugar cases time.
Okay.
Good evening, Board of Education. Good evening, everyone. I just want to, again, I know this is a budget meeting, just make sure, board members, that you're well aware of what you're voting on tonight. And if you are not fully aware of what was taken out of the budget, positions taken out of the budget, and how that will impact not only Pleasantville as a whole, but the students, please make sure you vote wisely, because you are in control, you have the power to make sure that the best decisions are made for the students and the families and staff of Pleasantville. And many of those positions, they are taken out in an arbitrary manner. So please, just know exactly what you're voting on. If you have questions, you have a right to abstain, vote it down, wait. Just be fully aware of what you're voting on. And yes, Dr. Hyman is my sister, but also know how hard she works. And she's been a pillar of this community. We live in this community. We attended Pleasantville schools. And to be here to dedicate her life, her entire career, 23 years in Pleasantville, and to be just non-renewed and dismissed for someone, based on someone who hasn't been here not even a year, is really, to me, unconscionable, and it is disgraceful. So I'm just asking you, as a board, many of you I know, I'm also from the community as well, just make sure you know what you're voting on, and if you don't feel comfortable, you have a right to not vote on it tonight, vote it down, or have the superintendent make the necessary changes. Thank you.
Mrs. Thomas?
Good evening. Good evening, Madam President, fellow board members, superintendent, and all those present. My name is Sabrina Primus, and I am the president of the Pleasantville Educators Association. I have made several requests in writing and in person to our new leadership to have a seat at the table to be part of the process to move this district forward. We have requested transparency on several occasions. It has not always occurred. We have requested several times to meet with administration to improve relationships with the district, and again, this has not occurred. We just were approved a meeting recently, a meeting that we requested earlier this year, and in that short time, we were able to get some of the answers that our union was looking for, and I'm saying to myself, we could have had this meeting in the beginning and got a lot of these things done. But again, our hands have been tied. Administration has said we can't meet with you. And so we just, again, are looking for transparency. Tonight, the budget that you are looking to approve and pass Again, we requested to see a copy of the budget so that we could have another seat at the table. We were denied that. We understand legally you have no obligation, but it would have been a good faith for you to work again with the union to bring us in so that we can all be on the same page and moving things forward. Again, I represent 530 plus employees for this district, which is my friend's top job and some days are quite daunting. But again, I'm here to represent them and be their voice in the room. I want it on record that we have made several attempts to work with this administration and to be open and honest and transparent. And again, we've been met numerous times with the same answers, write another email, tell me the things again, over and over again. Again, I want it to be clear. We are here to work as a team. We came to the table as a team, and we want to work as a team. Our heart's desire is that every part of this district works together seamlessly. I've seen it done in other districts. I know Pleasantville can do the same here. So again, I thank you for your time. Again, my name is Sabrina Primus. I'm the president of the PA Educators Association. And again, we want to work together. That's always been our desire, and that's all we've always wanted. Thank you for your time.
Charles Goodwin. Goodman.
How you doing? How you been? First of all, super. That way, time I can do. I realize you couldn't be here less than a year, that's right, less than a year. I'm going to ask you a question. You have been here less than a year. It's certainly then. Yes, sir. So how you going to make wholesale changes with the basis reason? How you came up with the email on certain people? I know that one of the person gave an email to me prior to coming. So you got all public emails. The person gonna get rid of, you haven't even talked to her. But she out on the medical. She out of medical with reading. Never should be done that. Person did shit on the medical really well, good now, you can buy something, read the lawsuit. So anyway, committee to let you know what was your basis, how you go about email. They call it email evaluation. I'm going to give a question about that. I'm going to give you a question about that. You have anything? You have a
Yeah, I have a question. All those people who are displaced, reassigned, or abolished, find out if they had their evaluation before they got their letter. That's important. Because if they didn't get evaluated, how do you get rid of them? If you get rid of them, you say they're ineffective. So the evaluations should show you that. So you should ask them. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, you too, Mr. Gates, and I anticipate the other.
My name is Michelle. I'm a parent of two children in school. We tried to get in contact with the superintendent since February. I have not gotten a reply back. I have left multiple messages. Never got a response back. Sorry. I had a big run-in with the school that ended up being a disciplinary action. At this time, I'm trying to get my kids out of the Pleasantville school system. I think that is going to prevent them from going to this other school that I wanted to go to. So that's the reason I was trying to get the superintendent so we can discuss the matter. My son was only at school for several months. Nothing was done about it. The last time that the child that was going in the pit ended up into a fist fight, my son stood there, didn't touch the child at all, and somehow my child also got suspended. Now ended up in disciplinary actions. This is an issue that I have been dealing with for months and have no results at all for any calls back from anybody from the board.
We will have,
Good evening. For all the board members here today? No, how many? How many are here? Listen to, seven. You have a good system here where things that go on in the community, I get a roll call. Everything happening with the city, I get a roll call. Anything happening with our children, I get a roll call. The budget is one of the most important things that this board has to approve. But I don't get involved in that. I don't want to know why. Time is now. If you keep saying you want the community to come together, the board will work together, then you have to communicate with us. Transparency is very, very important. We cannot continue on the old ways of doing things. This is the last minute. This vote has to take place. It's the last minute. We should have some pushing time to really come back with some. You got to come back and tell us some things. I have some questions. The budget hearing. Does any of the board members have a copy of the budget itself? Board members? Was there ever a meeting with the board members to explain and express?
excuse me, Mr. Gates.
Yeah.
We just have to correct the process of the ordinance not speaking.
Okay. Then I'll address it to the board president. How do we know, are there any cuts in administration in this budget? Madam President, are there any cuts in the budget for administration? And if there is, where are they?
Mr. Gates, if I can respond, I will. You know, when I respond to questions, you would try to with that.
What
I'll let my lawyer know.
As I understand the purpose of this evening is the Board of Education and the board members to determine whether or not to approve a budget that has been presented to the board. I am not aware, having represented school districts for over 30 years, that there is a provision in the law that requires the public or entitles the public, with all due respect, a vote with the process. It is the board who has the voting authority. It is the administration who presents what they believe the budget should be for purposes of the upcoming school year. And they present that information here in the public. The information presumably is available for everyone to see. In this instance, there appears to be a lot of concern directed at a particular position or positions. At some point, in each school district individually, changes are recommended. There's only one person in the school district that is held accountable and responsible for the efficient operation of the school. That is your chief school administrator. If in fact the chief school administrator decides that he or she is going to make recommendations to the board based on the sentiments of the public, at the end of the day, if that's not the sentiments of the chief school administrator, the chief school administrator only will be the one that's held responsible. So, in this instance, it appears that there are recommendations that there is a desired plan going forward. The Board of Education can accept that desired plan. The Board of Education can accept those recommendations and approve the budget. If the Board of Education decides that the superintendent of this district is entitled to try and make the necessary changes that will affect the education of the students here in Pleasantville, which sounds like, for whatever reason, that is remain objective, then it's left to be seen. But without change, change is often very difficult. But sometimes the difficult parts of change are the needed parts of change. So the Board of Education will make a determination as to whether or not they believe that it is appropriate to approve this proposed change of the judgment of the student.
As you being an attorney, I respect what you just said. But we're talking about a Board of Education that deals with so many board policies. Even though we have the law here, we have policies that govern this district. And as you break down the budget, you go to the policy that says the government budget and what criteria comes into it. The public, some kind of way, is involved. I understand your comment, and as an attorney, you have to say what you have to just say. But I'm here as a resident, as a taxpayer, and see the budget amount, and then ask my questions when you have 3 minutes to do it. Okay, so you give me as a resident, and all the time you come in and find out what's in the budget. Okay, I don't have a problem if there is cuts in administration. I just want to make sure that the cuts in administration don't affect the education of our children. Because for years, this board has been dealing with personalities and politics and all that. And it's time for it to end. Before you say anything, sir. Before you say anything. To the President, the cuts that are in motion or whatever, will it affect the education of our children?
No, it will not, Mr. Chair.
Okay. It's on record. It's on record. It's on record. So now, from this point on, yes, the board, you have the right to vote the way you want to vote. But understand, We got a new superintendent. And I really wanted to see a different setup of this approving the budget. More transparency, yes, more transparency, more involved, more. I'm a taxpayer. I see the tax levy on the city of Pleasantville. I see what I can see it hasn't gone up. Okay, it's pretty much the same. That's okay. That's only $10 million, or close to that. The rest of the budget comes from the state and the federal. But it comes from taxpayers. Bottom line, board, do your job. When you vote, make sure that little child in kindergarten, pre-K, 12th grade does not get affected. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Page. Next is 1.6, the budget presentation by Dr. Martinez.
Good evening, board members and staff and the audience. This is a business presentation, budget presentation. Our focus is on becoming a high-performing district. Our vision is that Pleasantville Public Schools provides excellence in education and services. For school year 2024 and 2025, our mission is to teach our students to read and write across all subject areas, nurturing their potential in a safe, caring, and supportive learning environment. We are working with the end in mind. As Stephen Covey wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, we want all of our students to be graduation ready. As you may remember earlier this year, our New Jersey Quality Single Accountability Continuum Scores, known as QSAC, was publicly presented, as well as our DIP, District Improvement Plan, which was board approved. Among other things, this proposed budget addresses the needs identified in QSAC. Let me begin by sharing the data of those whom we serve in our schools. Our student population consists of students in 4 elementary schools, 1 middle and 1 high school, totaling 3,742 students. Of these students, 82% are general education, and 18% are in individualized education plans, and 20% are English language learners, and 12% of our students are in early childhood education. 1.61% of our students' primary language is Haitian Creole. 43% of our students' primary language is English, and 52% of our students' primary language is Spanish. Additionally, 1.4% of our students are white, 66.71% of our students are Hispanic, 29.86% of our students are not African American, 0.77% are Asian, 47.1% are female, 52.59% are male, 76.11% of our students are economically disadvantaged, and 2% are displaced. Throughout the school year, you've heard me state the importance of teaching our students to read on grade level. And for sure, by the end of the 3rd grade, we need all students to read at their level or maximize or a maximum potential so that they can read and learn successfully in middle and high school. However, our current student reality is that 26% of our third graders read proficiently and 74% read below grade level. This means that 1 out of 4 students is able to successfully read to learn. Over time, this gap widens. By the end of 6th grade, 17% of students read proficiently. That means 5 out of 6 6th graders are unable to read at their grade level. By 9th grade, 77% of students are not demonstrating reading proficiency at grade level. This means that our high school students are struggling in literary, reading information, vocabulary, written expression, and writing conventions. It means that academic achievement for our high school students is challenging and thus impacts them wanting to come to school and attend class and feeling successful. Researchers have long linked strong reading skills with improved math achievement, which may seem obvious when it comes to typical math tasks like understanding directions on a test or analyzing word problems. Clearly, literacy skills also support and deepen math understanding in unique and powerful ways. Our current reality is that the trend widens, or the gap widens. 80% of third graders are not proficient in math. 84% of fifth graders are not proficient in math. 96% of sixth graders and 98% of eighth graders are not proficient in math. As stated earlier, we plan with the end in mind that our students must be graduation ready. This is our why and our moral purpose. Our graduation rate for our 4-year cohort of 2023 students is 74.9%. Most students are unable to demonstrate proficiency in reading and math on the New Jersey State Assessment and thus must complete the portfolio assessment in order to graduate with a high school diploma. Most recently, the New Jersey Department of Education designated for the 2024-2025 school year the Pleasantville High School as a target support and improvement because of consistently underperforming student group due to at least one student group that missed annual targets and performed below the state average for all available indicators for 2 years in a row. The middle school was designated as additional target school and improvement for low performing student group due to at least one student group with a summative score in the bottom 5% of Title I schools. Another important goal for us is that students come to school daily and that they form positive relationships with others and that they have strong self-care and are able to regulate their emotions and behaviors. Our current reality is that our district average daily attendance is 88.83%. We want the remaining 11% of students to come to school as well. Out of almost 10,000 disciplinary write-ups, the majority of the write-ups are for cutting class. 8% misconducts are for disruption, 7% defiance of authority, and 3% fighting. We know that students won't gain the knowledge and skills needed to be successful in post-secondary if they don't go to class. Our goal is to increase student engagement and shared ownership in teaching and learning. As stated, the school district did not satisfy at least 80% of the weighted indicators in one or more New Jersey Keyside area. Therefore, regulations require the district to create a district improvement plan (DIP) to address all non-compliant indicators. Several goals for a district improvement plan were written and submitted to the Board of Education, which the Board of Education approved on February 13, 2024. This proposed budget reflects the needs identified in CUES Act, student performance data, and staff development. Our primary areas of focus is to increase our resources and use them efficiently and effectively to improve student learning and outcomes. We will be deliberate in providing resources to support teaching and learning. We will pay attention to equity in all areas in our district as we educate our students and include parents and our partners. We will write and implement a district equity plan. We will pay attention to how we assess students and how we will use the data to identify needs and make improvements. We will be more proactive and responsive in our approach to teaching and learning. We will have a keen focus on improving student attendance and ending chronic absenteeism, as well as addressing students cutting class. And more importantly, we will implement a district-wide positive behavioral incentive program that will serve as a foundation for our district to be recognized as a leader in character education. We will ensure that all students have unlimited opportunities to learn and grow with us regardless of any disability or background. And we commit to building strong partnerships with our students, staff, as well as our parents, local community, and business leaders to further improve the resources and support for all of our students. Next school year, we will implement the following instructional and program initiatives. Transformative and transitional individual written plans for all students. Provide reading specialists for grades pre-K through first grade. Sustaining professional learning communities. Provide instructional coaches to provide modeling and support for teachers. Provide professional development that's focused on MJT assessment interventions, instructional differentiation, formative assessments, character education, particularly second step, and the science of reading. Online software program for middle and high school students to personalize their college and career readiness. Provide behavioral, academic, and health support services and alternative education programs through effective school solutions. We will have a welcome and registration enrollment center, creating a one-stop for parents and students. Funding is provided for positive behavioral support incentive systems for all schools, and the Renaissance program for middle school and high schoolers will be funded. Restorative practice and restorative justice in Saturday Academy will align to the main code of conduct. There will be funding for trips will be available for all grade levels. Culturally responsible teaching using the core curriculum and maintaining current intervention programs will be sustained with this budget. Expanding dual language in K-5, middle, high school, and preschool, and additionally will expand our dual programs to include Asian Korean. We'll have online research libraries for schools. The summer school program will be expanded with a summer bridge program for rising kindergarten, 6th graders and 9th graders. We'll continue after school power hour, after school PLL academy. We will add a 9th grade academy at the high school. We'll continue our early college program and expand dual enrollment at the high school. Next year, we plan to focus on project and community-based instruction, as well as add educational technology to improve 21st century skills. Also for fiscal operations and personnel initiatives, this budget supports the maintenance of the pool, phase 3 of bathroom renovations, fire panel. We will have renovations of the high school locker room, phase 1, for the gym locker, pool lockers. We'll have pool repairs and upgrades, including a heat exchanger, sprinkler relocation. We'll have a new athletic shed and concession stand and ticket booth. The roof for Washington Avenue will be repaired. South Main will have a new boiler installed, asbestos abatement. We'll also have new drop-off at South Main Street School. And at South Main Washington Schools, will have new environment. Additionally, Lee's Avenue will have new unit ventilators, and in facilities will have leaf vacuums and leaf wrappers and ice strippers. The athletic field will have repairs and services. The technology professional services will be added for recycling computers, computer equipment repairs, power installations, and new design listed websites. In safety and security, we are adding a new visitor access management to ensure that we know who's visiting all of our student facilities. And we're adding new X-ray machines. For transportation, we will have a bus strike system for student identification and a bus to transport our student athletes who are waiting needs. And finally, town development. We added software memberships to increase high quality and improvement. If you access my colleague of assistant
Please approve the budget presentation. Good evening. The 24-25 budget is $116,373,153. This is a decrease from last year's budget, and the difference is $3,903,537. This reduction is due to the American Rescue Plan that ended in September 2024, and the tax levy increase is 2%, which is the minimum cap percent allowed in New Jersey. The tax levy reflects a slight decrease in the school tax due to the district plan of all-out debt service this year. In 2024, the Pleasantville Public School District will not have any more debt owed for the middle school and high school facilities. Revenues for 2024. District revenues come from several sources. 71.8% is for state aid, which increased by $4,151,325 this year. Grants and entitlements is 10.9%. Grants and entitlements is the district's Title I, Identity, Early Childhood, and Perkins. 8.7% of the tax revenue is part of our revenue, and that's the tax levy. 7.6% is the budgeted fund balance, which is the surplus funding remaining from the prior year's budget. The district's tuition is primarily revenue from FCPA. The district receives and educates 41 students from FCPA. 0.2% of the budget is represented by the Medicaid reimbursements, and this Medicaid reimbursements are services provided to students for disabilities, such as occupational therapy, speech therapy, and evaluations. Most of the district's revenue comes from the New Jersey State Aid. Staff are our greatest asset. As such, the district budget allocates 44.3% for salaries. Fringe benefits like health insurance, workers' comp, Social Security represent another 15.2% of the budget. Grants and entitlements are 10.9% of the budget allocation. Facilities, board services, and other types of administrative services is 7.8% of the budget. Other instructional supports for teaching and learning in the schools is 6.3%. Capital outlay for facility upgrades is 5.2% of the budget. Lastly, out of the district tuition is 4.2%, which includes students attending other schools outside of the district. Thank you for your support in the budget process.
She's saying turn the mic up. I think it's all. It's for well.
Board, is there any questions? What state is your comments? And I've taken a present view of the budget. Of course, there are a number of things I don't know. This is new to me. However, I'm impressed with Dr. Martinez's presentation of the budget. And the goals that she's outlined are pretty impressive. And if you just take a moment and consider the current situation of Pleasantville School District, we're in a lot of trouble. And so are our students. And I think that the goals that she laid out and how she has presented herself this school year It's like no other superintendent I know. And I had 3 children that worked for the Pleasantville school system. They did well. They done well. But in recent years, in the last 30, Pleasantville has been struggling. And the only question I have is this. I noticed that in the budget, of course, there is a reduction in the funding. But I did notice that there is a reduction also in the preschool amount of funding that's been allocated for preschool and for disabilities. My question is, in this school year, how do you plan, what is the impact of that reduction in funding? And what plans do you have in place that will mitigate some of that loss?
Probably confirmed. The reduction in the entire application is due to actually right. So reduction in marks and personal reduction in resolution.
I think that's a state that when I put on my head, I was going to reason by the New Jersey School Board Association. The funding is based upon the government. Is that correct?
Preschool funding is so we access the budget as a time. Outcomes,
I know that concern me about the discontinuance of employees. This is the platform of the town to discuss that. Because if you need to,
Yeah, so, excuse me, guys, if I can hear me. Anyone that's, just for the public's edification, there is a widespread misconception that non-renewals are terminations. They are not. They are non-renewals. The person who is offered a position of employment for a particular school year has the ability, unless they are terminated, to work until the end of their contract. In this case, if a contract was offered for the 23-24 school year, the contract would start either July or September of 2023 and would end June 30th, 2024. If a person is not offered a contract for the following year, in this case, 2024, 2025, that is not a termination. That is just not an offer to continue in that position. If the person is not satisfied with that process, the law permits a procedure that the affected employee can undertake to challenge the process. That process to challenge is not during the course of the budget period.
Any more questions, Ms. King? Any other questions, board? Questions, statements? To answer Dr. Harkins' questions, the 7 first questions that she asked, no, I was not aware of the majority of what she said on the past one paper. And I kind of feel the same with y'all without saying too much. And I spoke with several staff members in the beginning when they felt as though that their jobs were at risk. And I didn't get involved because I'm not into day-to-day operations, but I've been following it to see if they were correct. And
just for your own protection, I would suggest that you stay away from discussions that you may or may not have had with staff members, as board members' responsibilities to policy.
as long as I'm not involved in the day-to-day,
This is the problem that I have.
But just real quick.
Okay. No,
This is so you know.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, I appreciate it. But as long as I'm not getting involved in the day-to-day operations and I'm not telling them what to do or getting involved in what they're doing, I can actually listen to anyone. Because at the end of the day, and there's no disrespect to Dr. Martinez, because she knows that I like her. But if we just listen to all the recommendations from a superintendent, and they're telling us that everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, or saying this person's not doing this person's not doing that, and we're just listening to her, we're going to just go along with what she said. Because she's the only one that's under us that we listen to. I mean, that we're over. But if we listen to staff and we don't get involved, that's how we find out what's really going on without getting involved. You have to know what you can say and what you can't say. And from being on the board from 2015 to now, I learned that. So I learned to listen. So therefore, it's time to give our superintendent an evaluation. It won't just go by what she's recommended to us. It'll go by what staff has let us know what's going on and us following it. So I'm not getting involved in day-to-day operations. So like I said, staff has came to me many years, as well as recently, even though some of the things were personal. And then I just sat there, I listened, and I reached out to the president to let her know what was said to me, and she said she was going to follow, and I followed. Now, as far as the non-renewals, no, I have not received anything from non-renewal. Didn't even know everybody's name that was on the non-renewal, but I do know that some of the people were some of the people that told me that they felt as though they was targeted. So therefore, I'm not in agreement with it. And a lot of the budget cuts to take away from listening, to take away these positions, but giving the job descriptions to someone else doesn't make sense to me. So, I just wanted to answer the questions. I'm glad to let you know that I was not privileged with that information, and I do know that we stated before, and the New Jersey School Board Association said when committee meetings are done, that the chairperson is supposed to let all board members know what's going on. I don't know if that's a problem. It's not in my committee. I don't get the phone calls. I haven't received anything. I come to my meeting. Yes, I do come to me. Okay, y'all. But like I said, I do but anyway, like I said, no one is reaching out to them, and I know I'm not the only board member because I received calls before where board members don't know what's going on inside the business. You're welcome. Let's move on. Mrs. Silver, yes. If you have something about the budget, yes, I'm trying the budget. Okay, great. Budget questions.
Thank you very much. My name is Veronica Silver. I sit here as an educator myself, and I comprehend and I understand the importance of a budget. When I am to make a decision, I need all of the information necessary to make a correct, honest, and fair decision. Because lives are dependent upon the decision that I make. So it is important that I get all the information I need. I was not, and I say this for the record, I was not aware of the non-renewals. I'm just saying, I want that for the record. Okay? Okay. For the record. For the record. Let's talk about the budget. Let's talk about the budget. As I preview the budget, okay, I saw some things on that I have questions about. I won't mention it, we will discuss it further in the matter. But I have questions. I have my own questions because I want to make the correct decision. Okay, and this is, I want this on record. Thank you.
May I have a motion to go into executive session because I want you to make the right decisions
So may I have a motion to go into executive session? One second. Our lawyer speaks.
Just for the board's verification and the public's edification, there's once again been a lot of discussions about non-renewals and the non-renewal process. The Board of Education, not just here in Pleasantville, but anywhere in the state of New Jersey, has no role in the non-renewal process. By law, the statutes under 18A empowers the chief school administrator in any school district in New Jersey to decide whether or not to recommend a person for employment or not.
You don't vote. You don't have no vote at all. If you sit up there covering up for them, keep it on. Keep it on, brother. Go ahead. You're from this community.
What I do is tell you what the law says.
We don't care about that. Right.
So you can check, you can get anyone else who wants to check and see if my suggestion about what the law requires is in fact the law. I didn't make the law. I just found it based on the opportunity. So at the end of the day, there is a process, the board follows the process, and if there is a challenge to the process, we welcome it.
We have a motion to go into executive session.
I make a motion that we go into executive session.
Motion by Mrs. King, may I have a second? Second by Mrs. Gray. Roll call, Ms. White.
Ms. Clemens? Ms. King?
Yes.
Ms. Morgan?
No.
Yes. Ms. Ward?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Rowan?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Anyone have anything to say? No, Mr. Page, I'm sorry. I'll get you on next week, okay? Okay. Okay, Mr. Page. Okay, I'm gonna let you speak for 3 minutes, okay? Yes. Go ahead, Rick. Yes, Mr. Page. Yes.
Testing one. Okay.
Yes.
So the vote we just took, it failed. Where do we go from here?
One second, Mr. Page.
While we're waiting, is my time off? No. It is my prayer that this Board of Education really look at every issue within this budget. I understand that you have a superintendent, and I am, up to this point, very pleased with what she's done with the district. But now, I really would like to know the Board of Education's vision. I know she read it, but what is the vision for Pleasantville? What is our mission? And Ms. King, you said, well, that this district's in trouble. God is aware of it. God is in it. And if I can say to every one of you here, if you know prayer, it works. Do we have an answer yet? Oh, so yesterday I made some macaroni and cheese. Forget that. To the board members, your job is very, very important. This is the opportunity now where this Board of Education of all women can really focus on the children. And I'm very proud of each and every one of you up there. But remember, when you vote for something, it's a vote that you can go home and sleep good at night. Because you know the end result is going to help our children.
Mr. Page, our attorney is researching that right now, and once we get the answer, I can have Mrs. White reach out to you with that answer.
I would rather, in some kind of way, you can get it to everybody that's here and in your whatever. This is something that, if you're going to have another meeting, which you have to, the budget eventually has to be voted in. We just need to know when that's going to happen. And maybe robocall. You can robocall this. Your meeting date.
Mr. Page, what we're going to do is the superintendent's going to reach out to the county, and once she gets the answer, she'll make sure she puts a roll call.
Once she gets the answer from the
So
county.
what we need to do next in the direction, we'll let you know when the next board meeting will be or what the process is.
So in your executive session, there was no discussion on what happens if this was voted down?
No comment.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Page.
Thank you, Madam President.
Next board comments. Mrs. Silver?
I think it's important for all of us to just remember why we were elected. And that it's of utmost importance that our children improve and get prepared for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Silver. Mrs. King?
Just say good evening and have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. King. Ms. Clemens? Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Clemens. Mrs. Gordon?
Sorry, for the moment sounds from my daughter's appreciate Mr. Gordon. And I just want to thank the community for coming out because we do have to work together between our communities and our school district and our city.
Thank you, Mrs. Gordon. Mrs. Waters? Thank you, Mrs. Waters. Mrs. Gregg?
I just want to thank everyone for
And I just want to say that I'm here for the kids. I'm here because, looking at the numbers that the kids have as far as, not being able to read on the level, the activities and stuff that was supposedly going on in the school system, that the kids wasn't getting, teachers that wasn't coming to school to teach our kids, so some of our kids wasn't even having certain classes. I wanted to make a change with that because our kids deserve a lot better. And that's my reason for being here. And if it involves the kids and giving the kids an education that they need, that is how I vote for God.
Thank you, Mrs. Gray. I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I hope that you get home safe. We appreciate you. Once again, and all the board meetings, I just want to let the staff know we do appreciate you. We hear you, we listen to you. And also, if anybody does know how to pray, or if you have any type of prayer, or if you're whatever religion you are, just pray for all of us. Because it's not easy sitting up here and making decisions. When we make decisions based on the facts, and sometimes we agree to disagree, but I can tell you right now, I am here for the children, and I don't have to prove anything to anybody because my works speak for what I do. And I make a decision that's based on the district, not based on solely who wants it to be based on. Where I'm making decisions based on the district and what's great for the district. And I want to thank you, Dr. Martinez, for all the work you are doing. I want to thank you, Dale, for all the work you're doing. I want to also thank Dr. Martinez, your team back here, for everything that they're doing as well. So until we meet again, the next board meeting will be on April 14th at 6 o'clock. We will keep you informed when the next budget meeting will be to pass the budget next time. Thank you. Have a good night and good home safe. I have a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mrs. Morgan, and second by Mrs. Clemens. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Good night.